let's talk about what's going on with the other 28 clubs right now. The Lakers, you on your Substack, terrific reporting about what Darvin Ham was able to extract from the Lakers front office in a way that Frank Vogel was not, and assurances of what he can do to set up shop and make it his own shop. What's your reporting on that, Marc Stein?
Yeah, and it's assurances. You know, the buzz in coaching circles that I've heard is that he's been promised a lot of autonomy to pick his coaching staff, which Frank Vogel was not, and that he was promised that Kurt Rambis, the Lakers senior advisor, is not going to be a regular presence in coaching meetings. And that caused a lot of surprise around the league when it emerged that Kurt Rambis, basically as a member of the front office, either in person or virtually, was a constant presence in Frank Vogel's coaching meetings. That's just not the way it's done in the NBA. So what I've been told is that Ham has been assured that that's not going to be the case now. But look, the Lakers haven't even announced this hiring. We haven't seen a Darvin Ham press conference yet, and there's going to be skepticism until this actually comes to fruition and we see that Darvin Ham has really secured these things. But it's how it should be. There shouldn't be a regular front office presence in coaching meetings. That's not common NBA practice. So look, Darvin Ham is a highly rated. He has a lot of fans in a lot of different cities around this league, and I think he's a pretty confident guy, and I think he's going to go in there, coaching those guys. And that's easier said than done. That is not an easy team to deal with. But it looks like LeBron is on board, and that's the thing. He's gonna have to. Darvin Ham's gonna have to coach LeBron and AD and Russell Westbrook if they're adamant about not moving. That's another topic that is greeted with a lot of skepticism. The Lakers are telling anyone who will listen, we are not going to attach first-round picks to trade Russell Westbrook. We're not going to make a bad trade just to move him. Me personally, I don't see how you bring Russell Westbrook back. I don't see how you can gather the group on the first day of training camp and try to preach a fresh start if Russ is still there. But we still got 3+ months to go. So let's see if Russell Westbrook really is still a Laker come the end of September.
Well, LeBron, who you said was on board with Darvin Ham, tweeting out a welcome to the team. So, the announcement will come at some point. But LeBron has basically said, you heard him say at the end of the season, we just didn't have enough time on the court together. Healthy, the three of them, Russ and AD and him. So maybe LeBron thinks they should run it back or what? I mean, what happened at the trade deadline with nothing happening might have rankled him as well, and that needed some ironing out apparently. So where does the roster stand, do you think?
They're never going to say it, but I think the commonly held suspicion around the league is that the Lakers' top stars would prefer if there was a Westbrook trade and they were able to move him and they can really try something else. But the reality is Westbrook, he's when he opts into his player option for next season, he's going to be making $47 million. And even though that's an expiring contract, that's just a mammoth number. And you can't trade him without taking back long-term salary. You're not going to get back, $40+ million of expirings for Russell Westbrook. So there are legit reasons for the Lakers to be hesitant to just trade him any way they can, because they don't want to have to put first-round picks into the deal to move him, and they don't want to take back bad contracts that hurt their long-term flexibility further. But my question is going to be, is the best play for them to really just run it back and see if Darvin Ham can reach Russell Westbrook in a way that Frank Vogel couldn't, or is it better to just waive him and take the huge financial hit in the name of starting over fresh? Again, the messaging, the whispers coming out of Lakerland at this point is that, no, the Lakers don't want to waive him either. They're going to bring him back. But, that's what you say on June 1st or June 2nd. That's not necessarily how it plays out when we get to the end of September.
Did the Lakers knock on the doors of any coaches who are currently under contract elsewhere to try and get them?
Not the indications are not really, because you couldn't get them without compensation. I mean, first of all, we've all heard about Doc Rivers and Quinn Snyder. I mean, I've been reporting about Laker interest in Quinn Snyder since March, but Quinn Snyder is still under contract with Utah, and that situation hasn't been resolved. And there have been some pretty strong rumblings that one of the options that Quinn Snyder is considering is a year off to recharge. So I don't think, even if we see Quinn Snyder leave Utah this offseason, I don't know that diving into the Laker chaos is the move he wanted to make right away. And with Doc Rivers, from the moment Daryl Morey said Doc's going to be back, some people were interpreting that as, Lakers, if you want Doc Rivers, it's going to cost you draft compensation to get him. And the Lakers, they have so much work to do on the roster. They can't trade a first-round pick until 2027 or 2029. They don't really want to be spending first-round picks to get a coach. Like, that's just not a good play. So, I think the interest in Juwan Howard was very serious, but Juwan was pretty adamant that, he does not want to leave Michigan and does not want to walk away from the opportunity to coach two of his sons who are on the Michigan roster. So really, no. And that's why, they actually ended up settling on Darvin Ham faster, I think, than people expected.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.